back to a new video. I can't even speak today. I've been on vacation. Vacation's over, and just getting back into my routine. So I have to start back making videos. This video is kind of like a rant, a little bit, from a previous conversation that I've had with friends. And it's something that I've noticed throughout the years of, living abroad. And sometimes, not all the time, generally, people are very positive about me moving to Spain. But sometimes I find people, Americans and Spanish people, that they want to argue because I'm living in Spain and not in the US, and it's very strange. Now, like I said, not everybody. Most of the people, are pretty positive. They have like different questions. They ask me like, okay, how's the life like? Was the transition difficult? Things like that, right? But sometimes I get people that are like, why do you live in Spain? Why don't you live in the US? And then when you try to explain, they're defensive. And it's so strange to me. But this has happened to me from other Americans and Spanish people, but for different reasons. So I'm gonna talk about the Spanish side first. All right, so with Spanish people, I understand, because you watch TV and they show the US, and the US looks incredible, like this utopia, like has everything. They believe that you go to the US, you'll just earn a lot of money and live happily ever after. I will give it to the movies and the commercials. The marketing for the United States is on point. Like, they market the US very, very well. So sometimes I'll get like, why is an American living here? Or, we want to live in the US, like why do you want to live here? And like I said, I understand, I get it. But then you have the Americans, okay, some Americans that are like, how could you ever think about moving to Spain? The US is the best country in the world. We have everything. Are you silly? Like, why? You know what I mean? And so I'm used to those types of questions. But people don't understand that not every country is for everybody, right? There is no perfect country. Every country has issues. All right. Now, depending on what kind of issues you want to have, that's the country you probably want to live in. But it's like, I don't spend my day bashing the US or talking bad about the US. I talk about things I don't like, but even in Spain, there's a lot of things I don't like, which is completely normal. But if you say something, like one thing you don't like, you have that patriotic person that just gets angry and gets, and starts to argue, and yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Now I understand being proud of your country and everything, but we need to be honest with ourselves. Like, there is no perfect country. There's not. And from traveling to many different countries, I've learned that certain countries fit well with people depending on their personality and how they view the world. So, people ask me, well, why don't I want to live in the US? They ask me, are you going to go back to the US? Things like that. And I say, no, I'm not. And then they're like, well, why? Like, and the US does have some good things, but it has a lot of bad things. And the bad things that are in the US is that those are things that they don't resonate with me, basically. You know what I mean? In Spain, the bureaucracy is horrible, but I can deal with that. It's normal. Everybody suffers through it, and it's normal. But in the US, for example, guns, I don't like guns. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I don't bash on people that do like guns. It's like my family. You know, my mother has a gun, sister has a gun. I know lots of people, friends and family members that have guns, and that's fine. It works for them. But and, you know, and I hear people say, "Well, you don't like guns, but it's our constitutional right." And I didn't say anything about your constitutional rights. I didn't say that you shouldn't have a gun or couldn't have a gun. I just said I don't like them. And, you know, in my mind, if I need a gun to keep myself safe, I don't want to live there. Like, just period. That's just me specifically. I'd rather be in a place where I don't have to worry about guns. And then people, they'll say, well, you know, in Spain, you know, if there's a mass shooting, how are you going to protect yourself? Well, guess what? There are no mass shootings, which is why I'm here. So there isn't any mass shootings. So, yeah, so I hear things like that, and, you know, and I tell people, and another thing too is like racism. You know, there's racism all over the world. I'm very well aware. It's like in Spain, you find racism, but it's different. You know what I mean? It's like, for example, in the US, this happened maybe a few months ago, where this guy, he was, I think he wanted to be a Nazi or something, and he went into a grocery store and killed a bunch of black people, and then he killed himself, and they found a letter, and the letter was saying how all black people should die. I don't want to live in a place like that. It's not for me. It's like, I don't want to have to worry about my safety based on how I look. Okay, like, and I'm an English teacher, you know, teaching in a school. I want to focus on, I mean, I'm not teaching in a school now, but when I was teaching, I wanted to focus on teaching children English, not worrying about someone with a gun. So, sorry, my neighbor's like dusting a rug. You know what I mean? I don't want to like focus on drills in the class about what to do if someone has a gun, or have like go through metal detectors in the school. Like, that's just not for me. I mean, healthcare. I like healthcare pretty much in all of Europe. To me, it's much better. You know, in the US, you have healthcare through, you know, your insurance company, but, you know, here it's universal, and you can get private healthcare insurance. And people are like, well, the private healthcare insurance, you have to pay a lot of taxes, blah, blah, blah. Well, it works for me. I don't mind, because there are people that, you know, like in the US, that died because they couldn't afford to have a surgery or take care of themselves when they were sick. Well, in Spain, that's not an issue. So, and then if you don't like, you know, the public healthcare system, then you can get private healthcare insurance. So you have two options. So, you know, there's a lot of things. Now, again, this is only me, but there are people, you know, in the US that likes these sort of things, and that's fine. Like, you do you. I know people that live in different parts of the world, move to different parts of the world. Doesn't bother me at all. You know, I may ask them questions like, oh, you know, how's the country? You know, how's the food? Do you like it? And yeah, so having said all this on this rant of mine, you know, I do encounter people like this, and people just have to understand that not everything is for everyone. So you may live in the US and may enjoy it and have a good life. You may live in Spain and enjoy it and have a good life. You may live in Portugal. I mean, it just depends on the person. So no bashing any countries. Both countries have things I like, things I don't like, things I really hate, things I really love. But it's up to me to decide what's best for me. And living here and the lifestyle here is what's best for me, and it's what I enjoy. And I understand there's a lot of Spanish people here that hate Spain. They want to live in other countries. That's their decision. But I don't say, oh, Spain is such a wonderful country. Why do you want to leave? You know, no, I say, okay, well, I hope wherever you go, you'll be happy. And that's it. All right, guys, so that is the end of this video. Yeah, that was my rant. Had to vent. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you in my next video. Hasta luego. Ciao.